What's up everyone? Today I'm going to show you guys how we manage and actually automate our entire profit and loss sheet with our clients. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. There's a lot of formulas in here that took us like a shit ton of time to figure out and how to actually automate this. I know a lot of other agencies and e-commerce business and stuff like that are doing this manually and have a guy hired for this type of stuff, but we've actually managed to automate the entire thing. So pretty excited to show you this. I'm not saying this is the perfect solution or the only way to do it. This is just how we've managed to do it and how we've managed to solve it. But yeah, let's get into it. So at first glance, you have this P&L overview where you can see all of your revenue, you can see all of your expenses, and you can see your profit and your margins and the cash collected that you have and the client have. This is based on a profit share model, so that's why we have this sheet. It's to go over all of the expenses with our clients, and then we can distribute the profits evenly to everyone, so everyone gets the right cut. But yeah, let's jump into it a little bit more in detail. So income, we have total revenue, and then if you hit this drop down menu, we have a few more. So we have financing, cash to be collected, we have cash collected new customers, and then we have cash collected previous customers. So cash collected new customers is people who will have bought this current month, and yeah, that is both like PIFs, paid in fulls, but also people who decide to go for financing, and then we take in the upfront amount of that payment as a cash collected new customers. Cash collected previous customers, that is cash coming in from people who have bought in the previous months who wanted to go for a payment plan. So they are already a customer, but we are still collecting cash from them. That's what that means basically. And then the financing cash to be collected are people who bought this month but bought on a payment plan. So we divide what we received from them, and we also divide what we are going to receive from people. This gives us an exact overview of like how much cash is collected and how much revenue is generated each month. Yeah, and I'll show you guys how this is divided. Yeah, so then we also have the total cash collected, so we can see like all of the cash coming in each month, and that's basically it in terms of income and revenue. Moving on, we have the expenses, and at first glance you can see there's a couple of drop down menus, so you can actually close all of this down as is, and then you can have like a very high level overview of all of your expenses. But what we've done is that we've basically divided this into ads, closers and setters, softwares, miscellaneous, and agencies. So let's go really quickly through each of them. Ads is obviously just ad spend on different types of platforms. You can easily add one of these extra rows if you have any other ad platform you want to add. Super easy, just adding a different row and then copy pasting like this formula in. Yeah, but that's basically it. And then the ad total here, it summarizes obviously all of the ad costs from the drop down. So that's how that works. And then it's basically the same thing going down for closers and setters. You could also add more if you have more closers and setters in here as well. And yeah, there's something I need to mention also, there's nothing that gets inputted directly into the sheet. It all comes from the other sheet that's called sales and costs. So you don't put anything here, it's all automated from other sheets. So just to keep that in mind. Yeah, so moving on to softwares, then we have different types of softwares. You can also add more if you have, you can also remove some of those if you don't have as many softwares, but here you just basically name them all out. Yeah, then moving on to miscellaneous. Miscellaneous for us at least is kind of one-time expenses or something that's mostly one-time expenses. It could be something that's a recurring thing, but then we would probably go for creating a category for that because it's like a fixed cost, right? But sometimes it happens that we have like a one-off expense going out, and then we put it into the MISC. I think if miscellaneous like ends up being a 20 row drop down menu, then we'll probably do something else. But for the time being, it works fine for us. Yeah, moving on to agencies. This could be if you are running with an ad agency or a recruitment agency, or if you have any like contractors or something that you want to pay. This could also come down to or fall under this category. And you can also make more if you want to in here. But yeah. So next thing is actually we have the Stripe fees. So this is pretty cool, I think. I can't take credit for this. This is Matthias from the team that have created this formula, and this basically calculates. Whoa, brain fog. This calculates the Stripe fees that's coming in. We, funnily enough, use Stripe to process our payments for now, and then we've calculated in how to take the Stripe fees into account, just so we get an as accurate as possible view of the cash coming in. Yeah, then down here at the bottom, the total cost gets summarized from all of the, like the ads total, close to sellers total, all of these summarizing brackets here gets summarized in here. And then we have the total profit, which comes up from here, and then that's revenue, this is cash collected. And then we have the accumulated profit. Now the accumulated profit is a bracket that shows what is on the bank account right now. So every time we update with sales and expenses, this gets updated as well. And yeah, so this gives us a nice overview of like what is actually on the bank account at this moment, which also takes into account if we have, it takes into account, but it kind of calculates in, or it's taken into account when we figure out what is the distribution going to be. Yeah. For the last bracket here, this is reinvestments, and this is also pretty cool, I would say. So if we decide to reinvest like 1K or 2K, then we can just type this in here, and then it automatically gets into the accumulated profit for the next month. So this is, again, goes to show that if we want to keep 2K in the bank account, then that will be put into the accumulated profit, right? So that's how that works. And yeah, this is obviously negative right now because there's no revenue coming in. I can't show you guys any true data from the customer, unfortunately, but I can show you guys how to put in the data, and then we can see how it all works. So let's do that. So moving on to the sales one. So this is where all of the sales are coming in. This basically comes in from SAP automations or Make automations when payments are coming through Stripe. And then it just lands in here, and we format the date and time and some other data as well, so it gets put in automatically here in the right way, actually. So I'm just gonna pause it real quick and gather some data. All right, so we're back, and I just populated with some mock data, so now we can see how it actually looks inside of the P&L. So as you can see here, now it's already populated. We have 40K in total revenue, we have 38K cash collected. And if I open this up, this should, so you can see now cash collected on this one and what is to be collected. So this is what it would look like if 2 people bought on a payment plan on a 2 split. So let's say that the price of your offer is 2K, it will be formatted like this, right? So you have all of the PIF customers, as you can see here. Then you have all of the 1Ks, and that's a split, obviously. This one gets filled out automatically, and it gets put in here, basically. So you can see it all adds and subtracts correctly, it works, and the split for this would be 16K, for example, right? So that's how that works in terms of the sales. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at the cost. So the cost here is also mostly automated. It's automated in a way that we download a CSV file from the bank account and then upload it in here, and then it gets automatically formatted. So that's how that works. So it's dates that gets uploaded, the name of the expense, the amount, and then we have like categories for everything here. So the category thing is the one that's super important. This is what kind of formats and puts it into this one along with the name and the date. Like everything has to be formatted exactly the same, otherwise it won't go into this sheet. So you have to be really careful about this. But if you want, for example, to add more categories, you simply just click this pencil button here, and then you can add them in here. So you can add as many as you like. We've also added a bunch more in our actual P&L, but that's how you add more. And then you basically, super important that you fill out everything in here. This one again gets filled out automatically, but then it all gets formatted in here, and you basically have a fully automated, almost fully automated P&L sheet, which is pretty cool, I think. I think for us at least, it's a huge time saver, so we don't have to do this manually every time a sale comes in, and also the cost is as automatic as it gets. We can't really, or at least we haven't found a way on how to kind of automate the bank statements coming in. A lot of the banks have like really bad user interfaces, so getting an API or something like that set up with a bank account is something that I won't even bother with, to be honest. I don't know if there's any better solutions out there. Could be, but yeah, this is what we've found out so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was valuable for you. If you want this template, just hit me on Instagram and I'll send it over to you.